What's up, guys? This is Webby back again for the ninth edition, the ninth episode of what's hot in the world of professional wrestling. And you all better strap yourselves in. Get ready. It's coming. Because on this edition, we're going to be covering and discussing what Brock Lesnar possibly could have in store for him at SummerSlam. And it's not just Roman Reigns. So, we're going to be covering that right here today. Plus, cringeworthy herself, Stephanie McMahon, coming to Monday Night Raw this week. Why? We're going to be discussing that as well. All that, plus Howard Finkel, the Fink, the greatest ring announcer in the history of professional wrestling, WWE, whatever, bar none. He is sick right now. According to Jerry King Lawler, he could have had a stroke. I think everybody is wishing him good well. Get well soon. No question. Everybody grew up watching him, that one voice that stood out among everybody else when it comes to ring announcers. Even today, when we hear Hall of Fame at WrestleMania, it still sounds different because he did the Hall of Fame for so long. And now he's not. But whatever the case, Howard Finkel, get well soon. Hope you recover. Now, Stephanie McMahon coming to Raw this coming Monday. What is she coming for? Why is she going to grace us with her presence? Is it going to be the whole Kurt Angle, Baron Corbin situation? Because Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin get into it every once in a while, along with Kevin Owens and all that jazz. No, not according to rumors. That has nothing to do with it. I'm sure some of you thought it might, but that has nothing to do with it. According to Sportskeeda and Cage Side Seats, and amongst other wrestling websites, Stephanie McMahon, the commissioner of Monday Night Raw, is coming back this week to possibly make two announcements. One of two announcements. Either the first ever whole self women's pay-per-view where it is just women on the card, or women's tag team championships. Now, let's digest this, okay? Let's really talk about a full women's pay-per-view with nothing else on it and tag team championships. Some of you might be all excited on the Joy Juice, everything about this. Listen, let's start off with the pay-per-view. I am all for a women's revolution, them to have their own stuff, so on and so forth. I was for I was okay with them having TLC matchup. You know, that huge thing with Sasha and Charlotte where they were in the main event of Raw and they went all over throughout the arena and Charlotte tapped out amongst the crowd. That great contest, amongst other things. I, however, don't think that the pay-per-view concept with just having the women's division on it and nobody else, no men's division, is a good idea. I mean, it's just not. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Out of all the women that's on Raw and SmackDown, how many do you care about? I mean, outside of Ronda Rousey, how many do you actually care about? Alexa Bliss, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, just a couple. WWE hasn't really taken the time to groom, grow, blossom their women's division. I mean, they tried to do some stuff with Nia Jax, but I don't think that really worked all that well with the crowd as far as getting her pushed to the moon. That was kind of like a token title run, if you ask me. But putting them by themselves in a pay-per-view would be kind of like, well, it's the first time ever. WWE has that accolade now to their name. The women would be standing in the ring, giving each other a hug at the end, something of that nature. Either that, or they would come out on Raw or come out on SmackDown the next Tuesday and Monday and give each other a hug and all that because they've made history. But in reality, do you honestly think that the fans would gravitate to that pay-per-view more than what they have now? No. And the big problem with that is because WWE has not taken the time to get us invested with their characters, with their superstars on the women's division, outside of the few that I just named. Not even with Carmella, okay? The SmackDown Women's Champion. And I think everybody agrees with me on that one, okay? Now, as far as the Tag Team Championships, now we've already discussed this once before on the podcast. But since I'm seeing this, and I'm not trying to sound all negative, but I'm going to say it again, ridiculous rumor. I can see WWE doing it, pulling the trigger. Tag team titles do not need to be in the women's division. There is not enough women in their divisions for them to have tag titles. Even if they take all the women from both brands and stick them on one brand, it still makes it hard for them to have tag titles in the women's division. Now, some of you might say, well, Webby, look at the men's division and their tag teams. They only use 4 or 5 tag teams. Okay, you make a good point. However, every once in a while, do you realize that the men's division go and refresh themselves and create new tag teams or disband tag teams and bring up new tag teams, things of that nature. You're not going to see that with the women's division. I mean, you're just not. Things will dry out fast. So it just doesn't need to happen. Now, if she comes out and says there's going to be a tag team tournament or something like that for the women going into SummerSlam, and there will be a tag team matchup blow off at SummerSlam, yeah, okay, I'm fine with that. But it doesn't need to be for belts. I mean, it just doesn't. Besides, there's enough titles on the show to begin with. I think everybody agrees with me on that. And finally, the one thing that I know everybody was waiting to hear me talk about. Brock Lesnar, the Beast. Some people call it Ghost right now. He's more like a catering jobber right now. I don't care if he has the Universal Championship. We never see him on TV. He might as well be in the back eating catering. He's like Curtis Axel or Kurt Hawkins, more like it. Give me a break. The only difference is between Kurt Hawkins and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, when he comes out, he's dominant. Kurt Hawkins, when he comes out, he's a nobody. But we never see Brock Lesnar. And we never see the championship. So he might as well be in the back eating catering, as far as I'm concerned. But now, as we have been predicting for months, ever since April, at the greatest Royal Rumble of all time, right? Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. 3 this year alone, right? 3 times in 1 year. Thankfully, the rumors are that's not going to happen. We'll have to wait to see, but I don't see it happening, especially if the rumors are coming out. So here's what we got. Just picture this. You have Brock Lesnar, which I just described you what he is. A guy we never see eating catering, or a guy in creative that we never see that is useless. And then we have Roman Reigns. Somebody that gripes, moans, groans, complains, whines about everything, about losing, about not getting his opportunity for the Universal title, about creative throwing him down, about WWE and Vince McMahon not pushing him to the moon, blah, 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 blah. And yet all he is a loser, and the only thing he's done since the greatest Royal Rumble is lose and beat one guy, and that is Jinder Mahal. And the only thing I have to say about that is Shanti. Now, so you have Roman Reigns doing that. And not only do you have Roman Reigns doing that, waiting in the wing, you have Bobby Lashley, who got a token victory at Extreme Rules over Roman Reigns. And now they're setting up this rematch. this coming Monday. Well, according to Cage Side Seats, Sportskeeda, amongst other wrestling websites, they're reporting that at SummerSlam, it could be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley at the Barclays Center for the Universal Championship. This match, if it goes through like this, would be an absolute epic bomb for WWE, because the Barclays Center is going to eat that alive. Just like they did at WrestleMania, where the crowd had beach ball mania and was booing all over the main event. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that seeing that is as bad as seeing a Reigns Lesnar 3 in 1 year. But what I am saying is WWE, and I think everybody is in agreement with me on this, has put the two guys that we care the least about in the main event, going up against Brock Lesnar for their main championship. The only way you're going to save this is if you have Braun Strowman in some form or fashion, whether it's make it a fatal four-way, cash it in, and keep him off the card at SummerSlam, which I don't see that being a very good idea, keeping him off the card completely at SummerSlam. But he better walk out of the Barclays Center August 19th as a Universal Champion. That's the only way you're going to save this. And that's all I have to say on this subject. WWE, whichever way you go down this path, whether it's a triple threat or you give us a Reigns Lesnar 3, because no question, Reigns is walking out the winner on Monday. Either that or it's going to be some screw finish, which one of those two ways will make it a triple threat, because Lashley's already gotten a victory over Reigns. But whatever the case, let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. And until I see you again, this is Webby, and I'll catch you on the other side. Talk to you later.